Amelie making that decision to actually stop avoiding her own life. It's such a nice, beautiful, heartwarming thing to be able to bring joy into other people's lives. But at the end of the day, she was ignoring the things that she needed because she was afraid, you know?
Can you remember seeing Amelie for the first time?
Yes. So, um, the first time I saw it was my first year of college, actually.
Mm.
I rented it and I watched alone in my dorm, and I had no idea what I was getting into. Um, I just found the cover, like her expression on the cover,
Mm.
interesting, a little
Mhm.
quirky, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, watched it, and it was the first time that I felt like I saw someone like me in a movie,
Wow.
personality and wise.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the thing generally across the board that appealed to people about it is that, it has this kind of sense of whimsy. It's like a fairy tale in a lot of ways, but having this central character who like makes the decision to devote herself to making other people feel good
Mhm.
is, yeah, just like this kind of heartwarming center to this like very stylish, very kind of elevated movie.
Yeah,
Did any of
definitely.
that, hit you the first time
Oh,
you saw it?
yes, absolute all of it. I mean, first I was drawn in visually, because, I feel like at least everything felt super intentional and very, I guess maybe I like that it was shot on film. It's completely like you said, it's heartwarming and it makes you feel good, and like it reminds you of little things in your life that you can find magic in that you overlook every day, and just the character, Amelie finding little adventures for
Mm.
herself and um the whimsical aspects I'm completely attracted to because um I love magical realism. That's what it's called.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
I love that in movies because it makes me feel like like some kind of magic spark really exists because it's so
Mm.
close to reality, but then there's that little hint of magic there that doesn't take me too far out of reality, if that makes any sense. It's like just
Right,
enough.
right.
The way it's shot, Amelie's character. I also really loved once I finished it, I was so moved by one of the lines towards the end of it when the older man told Amelie, that she doesn't have glass
Mhm.
bones. I forget the exact line, but it really spoke to me because which is crazy that my job is getting on stage in front of thousands of people now, but for my entire life before Cannons, I was a shy, like daydreaming girl that
Mhm.
was afraid to like step into her own life and afraid to ask for things. And I loved being an observer of people, and I didn't like, you know, standing in the spotlight
Mm.
at for the majority of my life. Um, would have been my worst fear.
Yeah.
But so yeah, watching that and seeing by the end of the movie Amelie making that decision to actually stop avoiding her own life, because yes, it's such a nice, beautiful, heartwarming thing to be able to bring joy into other people's lives. But at the end of the day, she was ignoring the things that she needed because she was afraid, you know?
Mm.
So by her like kind of facing her fears and actually going to let the love interest she was after um stop hiding from him and let him into her life, and allowing to exist for her, um was really, it spoke to me, and it did make me want to also um face my fears in that way because yeah, I just always felt like I was that type of person that Amelie was, which liked to be on the sidelines kind of with
Mhm.
things, you know,
Yeah.
watch from a distance because I was afraid of getting hurt and like afraid of trusting people and afraid of like, you know, damage that could be done, but also then you're missing like the beauty and magic that can happen from allowing yourself to uh feel things and be, you know, a little more out there and yeah.
Yeah. And I think that instinct for, self-preservation, self-protection, to some extent exists in everybody. And for
Mhm,
her, it's like seeing this, her life has had this gigantic trauma at the center of it, and her mother dying in this horrible, violent way, and seeing what happened to her father because of it.
mhm,
You can understand why she would feel closed off from
yeah,
pursuing a romantic relationship, just kind of like not quite resigning herself to it, but saying the way that I am happy, the thing that makes me happy is making other people happy. So that's going to be the thing for me. But pushing yourself past
yeah,
that, and like you were saying, just like you need to be able to take risks in big or small ways to be able to uh you know get at, get outside of that little bubble.
yeah,
You want to progress in
you
life, if you
have
want to
to.
pursue the arts especially, but if if there's anything that you really want that is in any way scary, you really
Mhm,
have to just take a leap of faith and say, I'm going to try this. It may not work out. I may fall flat on my face, but I just have to put myself out there. And that
mhm,
it was like the big
yeah,
moral of the story is like, taking those kind of chances is worth it.
yeah, the vulnerability, you know, that spoke to me, and then, yeah, you mentioning as well the, ill parent, I mean, I didn't even realize until now, but I'm sure that's what spoke to me too. Because when I did see it, my dad was terminally ill,
Um,
and my mom was sick too, and so that, in a way, also probably gave me the, same type of, behaviors that I noticed in
mm,
Amelie's character, um, without really realizing it, you know, I was too young to be able to see my, my life in the way that I can see it a little better now. Um, but that kind of trauma and that kind of stuff does make you afraid to step into your own life and to be vulnerable because you've already felt quite a bit amount of pain from that kind of stuff. So it's easy to become someone that becomes avoidant to anything emotional.
yeah, definitely. And, especially dealing with the loss of a parent. I mean, I've been through that too. And like the enormity of that and the
Yeah.
feeling of, your world kind of crashing down on you and nothing ever feeling the same again, it really does shift everything in your life. And recovering from that emotionally takes a
Mhm.
really long time, if you ever do fully recover from it. And
Yeah.
the ways in which it can change your perceptions of the world and what's possible for you in your life and the chances you're willing to take can be really profound. Um,
Mhm.
and I think it's interesting that the movie doesn't really focus that much on that. It doesn't like, hammer that point into you that this might be a big part of the
Yeah.
issues that she's having with really just like pushing herself to
Mhm.
get what she wants for herself. Um, but
Yeah.
I think that is a sign of good filmmaking, that it's like handled in a way that's subtle instead of beating you over the head with it.
It is. Yeah, and then you're reminding me too, now I'm thinking about it, 'cause I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, but I haven't watched a movie more than I've watched it, so I've watched it
Mm.
quite a few times. But I remember being affected too by the beginning. Isn't she like somebody's heart checked?
Mhm.
Was it her
Yeah,
heart checked or was it her dad's?
it was hers. Yeah.
It was
I
her
can't remember the specific thing, but it's like her dad mistakes her, like her
yes.
heart beating in a
It
weird
was
way
like
because
too
she's
big or it was
excited.
beating yeah.
Mhm. And so they decide
Mhm.
that she has like some heart issue, and that means they homeschool her, and it kind of contributes to her loneliness and like building this little
Yeah.
fantasy world for herself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but all of that
Yeah.
stuff, like that is heavy shit. And this
Mm-hmm.
movie is so light. It's
It
like,
feels so good.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
floating on air the whole time.
But it does deal with, you're right. That's a really cool thing to me, how it leaves you feeling like lighter and like appreciating the things and the people and everything around you more when you go away from it. But it doesn't leave you feeling heavy. But the stuff is, it is heavy stuff, you know,
Mm.
because um that, you know, it started off looking so cool and whimsical, but there's those real underlying things that is what probably made me just lock in and, you know, connect to this story and this character in such an
Mhm.
intense way. Because I just remember feeling like, I mean, I'll have to watch that scene again, but I remember um, feeling like she was, maybe it was trying to express that like she's she's different in a way, that she's a very empathetic person and she feels more than you know, maybe the average person. And I can tell you that's another thing that it was, I thought it was a curse, but obviously it's become a blessing because I've allowed myself to be vulnerable through music and writing, and other people relate to it, and it's given me like a job that I never thought I could. Usually it's considered a pipe dream
Mm,
to
mhm.
make music for a living. Um, but I just, yeah, I felt like she is me, or was me.
Mm, yeah.
There's some magic in the film that can't be named.
Yeah, and I don't know, I guess it's also just like it's such a wide variety of characters. There's so much going on,
Yeah,
and all of these like little side plots, which is another indication of his skill, that it
yeah.
doesn't feel overstuffed with characters. It's like everything is balanced really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is good for me because I mean, I also, yeah, I would say Amelie is definitely a neurodivergent character, which
Mhm.
I am too. And there's movies that like I just feel like the characters need to be like fully developed, or else I just have too much trouble following because I don't care. So
Mhm.
I with her character, I just feel like every little thing about the way she, you know, did anything during her day, I really understood that character. And if there's too many characters in a movie, I feel like there's not enough time to really dive into the ones that are really, you know, the core of the story, and have trouble following on my
Yeah, but
end.
having this like totally iconic character in, you know, in every sense, that
Yeah.
her personality, her style, the way she interacts with other people, having that as like the nucleus of this
Hmm.
very busy world, and she's kind of like a
Yeah.
hummingbird, just like zipping around to all these different people and being this like fairy godmother, kind of trying to fix things around her.
Yeah.
I think
The
that
blind guy.
yeah, yeah, and you just have these, like, moments where she's doing these things that are just, like, reaching out to people, trying to make their lives better,
Yeah.
and having her to kind of ground you in the middle of all of this, like, fantasy kind of,
Hmm.
yeah, gives it a
Yeah.
strong center.
It does. And I would say too, the special effects that they used in it were so tasteful and like
Mm.
really cool because um going back to the blind guy that was, you know, was he just standing on the street corner or something, and
Yeah.
taking his hand and walking him around and describing how everything looks visually around him, and seeing like the special effects or whatever they did that made his like heart like light up. And
Mhm.
that was so cool. It was
Mhm.
beautiful and like touching, because I just feel like um it's rare to see people, you know, it happens, but it's rare to see people go out of their way for someone they don't know at all to help them at all.
Mhm.
So for her to go to the extent to just hold his hand and walk him around, and you know, who's this girl that's such a wild experience for him to be able to like I don't know. She's kind of like a an angel.
Mm. Yeah.
um something just something so magical about even that one act, and felt like it just brought like pure joy to me to see, a story where someone's, you know, helping someone that has a disability in that way, I guess. And they don't even know them, but she is,
Yeah. And
and it makes her feel good. She's not doing it because anyone's paying attention or watching her. It's just like that genuine, joy of helping other people it's beautiful. And I like to see it.
yeah. And that kind of goes back to what we were saying before, is that she's like this keen observer, and she doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily want to be observed, but she
Yeah.
notices everything around her, which is a rare thing in big cities. Like, I live in New York. People do not notice anything around them. It's like everyone is just
Yeah.
so like
Hmm.
internally focused,
Yeah.
that the idea of just like, taking picking out little bits of the landscape and saying, that's something. Or just like the moment where she's like looking out over the city and thinking like, how many people are having sex right now?
Yeah.
And just kind of counting them. And the director said that was, he does things like that. And he's like, like for instance, right now, you're drinking a glass of water. How many people in the city do you think are drinking a glass of water at this exact moment? And it's like having a brain that works that way and just wondering
Yeah.
kinds of things about the world around you.
It
Um,
gives you back that feeling of like that I feel, you know, as you get older, you forget that feeling even exists. But like when you're a kid and you have those questions that are people might think they're, a dumb, pointless question, but like there's a fun mystery in like knowing the answers
mm,
to random stuff. At least there was for me because I have a lot of questions all the time. People tell me, Michelle, why do you always ask me questions that I can't answer?
mm,
My band tells me that, but I'm a curious person and it's fun. It's fun being curious because it leads you to at least it helps me know myself better.
yeah,
So those random types of questions like that I find, I don't know, thought provoking and fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And also what you're saying about the special effects, like this was 2001, like the advancements in CGI were not very far along. But I just
Yeah.
watched it and it doesn't look dated. Like the way he used CGI was
Yeah.
so seamlessly integrated with everything else that was happening around it that it doesn't, some older
It
movies,
doesn't.
wah, 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 there's the special effect. This just blended so seamlessly into the environment and enhanced what was going on and helped to kind of
Yes.
understand her worldview. Again, without doing the like clangy thing that people can do sometimes, where it's like, this is what her brain looks like.
Exactly.
Um, so having, even
Yeah.
though it is like a very fantastical world, trying to ground that in as much reality as he can.
Did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
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 I remember too, like, after watching it, I don't know. Yeah, I felt inspired creatively. I, and I also think about too the way it was shot. I do feel like it inspired, the visual world a lot. Like I felt like a lot of movies after Amelie were using that type of color grade. I feel like Instagram filters in the beginning of Instagram was probably inspired by that movie. Um,
Mm.
and that's just maybe a feeling because I don't know any other films around that time, but I would assume that, that was probably the one that really went hard with that type of color grade.
Hmm.
Um, and
Yeah,
yeah, I felt like after that, it probably inspired a lot of people in ways that we don't know. I
definitely.
also got
Yeah.
some Doc Martens. I think was it maroon ones she was wearing? After got some Doc Martens. Cut my hair. Actually had short. I had short, dark straight hair here, and I've had my Amelie face.
Yeah.
I've
I
never liked a
mean,
movie. I've never wanted. I've never connected so hard to a movie.
that's a pretty special thing. It's like being able to pinpoint a piece of art that had such a profound effect on you that it's like it doesn't just stick with you, but it makes you want to make changes in your life. It's like,
Yeah.
that's
It's wild.
a pretty profound thing.
It feels like also a movie that like I can put it on and I just feel like comforted and like
Mm.
warm, like it brings me a sense of comfort. And I just there's no movie that exists like that that I know of, because there's a lot of movies I love that are very similar in like the magical realism
Mm.
realm, but Amelie doesn't require me to I don't know, my brain just likes it. I feel like I can just relax. And so I have an interesting time with movies. If there's if there's a lot going on, I feel like I have to pay attention, and I have to like, there's things that I can't miss, and I just feel like it's such a calming movie that it's like if I, get distracted on my phone or something, there's nothing, I can get back into it and I can instantly feel like a warm blanket was thrown over me. I
Yeah.
did take French after actually watching this movie too in college.
Yet another
But
little, influence in
mhm,
your life, I guess. But
yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. Um, I think the profound influences of this film on your life, that is a wonderful place to stop. This has been so
Cool.
lovely. I'm so
Awesome.
glad I watched this. I hadn't seen this movie since I saw it, like, I don't know, in the theater many, many, many years ago. So,
Really? Oh, you saw it in the theater?
yeah,
That's so cool. Okay,
yeah,
well, I'm jealous.
yeah. But thank you so much. This was really
Cool.
fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right. Hey, do you want more conversations with incredible people talking about the movies and music they love? Then subscribe to the Spark Parade YouTube channel.